Steven Spielberg says the next Indiana Jones could be a woman. The 71-year-old director telling British news outlet The Sun it might be time for the iconic male character to take on a different form, perhaps in the 6th movie in the franchise. The 5th one currently in production and will be out in 2020, and he says he thinks it will be Harrison Ford's last.
You're welcome.
Dwayne Johnson not ruling out running for president. The Rock on the cover of the new Rolling Stone telling the magazine he's flattered that people are excited about him possibly running, but thinks it's a function of people being very unsatisfied with the current president. Kenny Rogers is canceling the remainder of his shows this year. The country music legend was on his 2018 Gamblers Last Deal tour when he got sick. Fox Carolina says he's suffering some serious health challenges and doctors don't want him on the road. That's entertainment. Jennifer Bolsoni, NBC News Radio.
On a Friday, April 6th, Larry Holder, Jeff Duncan, Clyde Verdun, Dave DeCourbier at iHeart Central here in the CBD. So much to talk about. It's one of those Fridays where you need about 12 hours of radio to get everything in, and you still won't get everything in. So, look, we're going to be talking Pelicans if they hit the road in Phoenix, take on the Suns tonight. They're in slightly better shape than they were, say, 24 hours ago when we were talking about them at this time in the Western Conference standings. We will head out to Phoenix, talk with Sean Kelly, radio play-by-play voice for the Pelicans. Of course, you can listen to every radio call he does for the Pelicans games on our sister station, 99.5 FM WRNO. We will also be talking some golf. Jeff is ready for some golf action. I know that.
Masters, what about Jordan Spieth yesterday?
Usually he doesn't surprise me. I just assume he would be in contention in every tournament he's in. He's that good. So I'm programmed to assume he would always be in contention for the Masters.
And not a good day for the defending champion. Sergio struggled, to say the least, on 15.
That's because he went 10 cup.
It looked like me out there.
And hit 5 into the water.
No, here's the thing. Everyone, when you say that, it sounds like he just dipped them all in. Many of them hit the green and rolled into the water.
Yeah.
They were all good shots and had some backspin, and they all drifted, and he shot, a 13?
Yes. Yes. I mean, we've all been there, but it's staggering to see someone like that.
I never get to 13. You play double par as a recreational golfer, so the highest you ever get is 10. You double your par on par 5, and you move on.
Yeah, you
don't allow yourself to shoot 13.
Cut your losses and move on.
Or Sergio
couldn't let that happen. He's still playing in the Zurich though, so that's Sergio, and he
handled it well.
He handled it well. What are you going to do? I mean, you just got to own it. But no, we will be talking Masters and Zurich Classic with Steve Worthy, the CEO of the 4Kids Foundation, and they run the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Of course, that's a couple of weeks from now. And so Steve's going to jump on. Got some new commitments yesterday, some former major winners. So we will talk with Steve about that. And maybe he'll drop a little tidbit or two.
I'm hoping, yes. And that's at 10:20, so that's not very far away.
Yeah, so in about 11 minutes, we'll talk with Steve Worthy. And, of course, Clyde, it's a good day for Clyde.
So excited.
So Clyde got to get into iHeart Central early, and who did you have a chance to catch up with? And Jeff, I don't know why you missed out on this. If you were starting to get into WrestleMania, why did you miss this? What's the matter with you?
It was way too early for me.
Yeah.
8:30 in the morning was way too early for
Actually, no. I get up at 6:45 usually every day.
I was here about 7:45.
You're beaming. He's radiant. I can feel the heat coming off of
So, Clyde, who on planet Earth did you talk to that we're going to run an interview with later on in hour number 1?
I had the wonderful pleasure of talking to current WWE and the longest, the person who has the longest streak for being the Raw champion, Alexa Bliss. It was amazing.
So she's going to be wrestling at WrestleMania?
She is. She's going up against her former best friend.
Ooh. former best friends. You love it when the friends become enemies.
It's as we the frenemy war. She will be one of the main cards this weekend going against Nia Jax.
Okay. Well, before her interview with Clyde, we will have our WrestleMania beat writer, Gene Gilliott. He's going to be coming on, making his second appearance on the show this week. Thanks to Jeff booking him again, because Jeff is so enthralled and wants to know if Brock Lesnar is going to bite someone's face off or something.
What's tonight's the Hall of Fame? Is that right? Isn't
hold on.
Yes, it is.
Who's going into the Hall of Fame?
Goldberg.
He's
the headliner.
That's huge.
Of course.
Yes.
I'll be there covering it for iHeart.
Wow.
I got media credentials. Apparently, they don't have a very strict screening process.
Low standards.
They let me in.
Low standards. Yeah, bring him in. Bring a guy. Weekend Geek correspondent. He's in.
Absolutely. He's global on the iHeart Radio app. Hello, come on. What's the matter with that?
Exactly. Mr. Worldwide.
Exactly. So, and we got a couple of open segments. We'll get to your phone calls if you want to hop on the show, 504-260-1280. Another thing that became a hot topic yesterday that I'm sure we will touch on at some point. You know how mock drafts, boy, they can get some people riled up. A certain mock draft on NFL.com has the Saints moving all the way up to number 8 to select Baker Mayfield. I've been hearing about that all day yesterday. Jeff just gave me a look. That's all I need to know from Jeff. We will, I'm sure, discuss that at some point.
Is this a credible mock draft?
Yeah, Chad Reuter, who does their 5-round mocks, and
wow,
he did his purpose. We're talking about it, so people go and click it, and so that's basically what some mock drafts are all about. But let's stick with the Pelicans. Look, they didn't play last night, but got some help in the Western Conference playoff department. The Jazz beat up on the Clippers. They win 117-95. The Denver Nuggets, even though this is weird, the Denver Nuggets, they're behind the Pelicans, so you're thinking, do you really want them to win? But the only team you want them to beat is someone like the Timberwolves. The Nuggets pull off the win, 100-96. So your current standings in the Western Conference, the Jazz have leaped to the 4th spot. They are 46-33. San Antonio's at 5 at 45-34. Same record, but below the Spurs are the Thunder at 45-34. The Pelicans are now at the 7th spot. They are a half game behind the Spurs and the Thunder, and they are 44-34. The T-Wolves are now tied with Denver at 44-35, but the T-Wolves are still the 8th seed. The Nuggets are the 9th seed, and the Clippers are now 2 games out of the 8th spot, 2.5 games behind the Pelicans. So at least the Pelicans got some help last night. And, Jeff, they should certainly help themselves tonight. You walked in, I walked in, assuming they'd beat Memphis. They beat the hell out of Memphis. I'm sure tonight in a West Coast tip time against a team that's even worse than the Grizzlies, we're all assuming that the Pelicans are going to win. So this is... You don't want to call it must-win territory. This is must-win territory, no doubt about it.
No question. They've got to win tonight because Saturday night at Golden State looks like an L to me. I mean, let's just go over that situation. First of all, the worst thing that happened to the Pelicans as far as the Warriors are concerned was the Warriors getting shellacked the other night by the Pacers.
They got drilled last night, 126-106.
Steve Kerr went off on his team, called their effort pathetic, and the next game they have is the Pelicans at home. You know you're going to get their best effort after that performance. They're not going to have another bad night like that. Here's a little stat for you guys. I don't know if you're all aware of this. The Warriors have won their last 10 regular season games against the Pelicans, 10 in a row at home. Of the 10 wins, 7 have been by 10 or more points.
So you're saying there's a chance?
So I'm saying
no. He's saying there's no chance.
There's no chance.
What he's saying.
So I'm saying you got to win.
Clyde.
You got to win tonight. You're probably going to lose Saturday to Golden State, considering all the circumstances involved. I know they don't have Steph Curry. They still got tons of firepower. So then you're 1-1 on this swing. And I look at those last 2 games as kind of 50-50 affairs, and I think they've got to win one of them, either at the Clippers, who are a little bit reeling a little bit now. They are now 2 games out of the 8th spot. I think they're vulnerable, but they're still 22-16 at home this year. Or you got to beat the Spurs in the last game at home at the Smoothie King Center. So basically, 46, I think, is the magic number for wins to get in.
And, yeah, look, they're going to be taking on the Suns tonight. They'll take on the Golden State Warriors Saturday, at the Clippers Monday, and then April 11th, the season finale at home against San Antonio. So it's make or break time. I mean, we knew, I remember at the beginning of the season when we were kind of picking out and dissecting the schedule, we assumed these last few games would be a difficult stretch for the Pelicans and would be a meaningful stretch. And it's all come to fruition. These games matter for life or death as far as getting into the playoffs. And look, I know there's still a perception that, maybe the Pelicans can jump all the way up to the 5th spot. If they win tonight and if some other pieces kind of fall in place, they could jump as high as the 5th spot. That's according to our own Will Guillory. But some of the pieces may not fall, so you got to just concentrate on you. I mean, you got to win, and even if it's ugly, if you're a Pelicans fan, you're certainly hoping for a shellacking like you gave against Memphis, but you don't know. We don't know at times. We think we know the Pelicans at times, and sometimes we don't know the Pelicans.
Well, we talked about this after the win on Wednesday against the Grizzlies. Obviously, hopefully, you want to see that same kind of effort from a lot of guys. You want to see that even dispersion of minutes. But the biggest thing, two things we haven't talked about specifically is that, one, obviously, we now know Ian Clark had a sprained ankle in that game, so better than what some people thought might have happened. They were hoping it was going to be a repeat of another Achilles injury a la DeMarcus Cousins had. So it's a sprained ankle, but still he's going to be out 5 to 10 days, possibly longer, depending on how that goes. And in his place, looks like the Pelicans are going to bring back Jordan Crawford, a la instant grits, get your butter ready. And that could be a huge pickup for the Pelicans, specifically going into the rest of these games and having a legitimate scoring threat come off the bench. That could be huge, not so much in a game like tonight, but specifically going into the game on Saturday against the Warriors.
All right, let's take a break right here on the show. We'll be talking plenty of Pelicans. Once again, we'll catch up with Sean Kelly, of course, radio play-by-play voice for the Pelicans on our sister station every game, 99.5 FM WRNO. So we'll talk more Pelicans in hour number 2. But coming up next, let's talk a little PGA Tour golf, Zurich Classic, the Masters with Steve Worthy, the CEO of the 4Kids Foundation. Of course, they put on the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. So we'll talk with Steve coming up next here. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holder.
And a big cold jug of sweet tea. I make a little room and she climbs on up.
With up to 16 chances a day, every weekday to win $1,000. A smart move would be to listen.
I'm a smart speaker, and I agree.
The keyword to text and win comes at the top of the hour.
The smart money is on.
Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Wow, it looks even better in person.
Oh, yeah. And I put nothing down on this bad boy.
Nice.
That's not even the best part. Navy Federal offers car loan decisions in 5 minutes or less, and you can do it all from your phone.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
Get pre-approved for your next new or used car at Navy Federal Credit Union and find something new to brag about. Visit NavyFederal.org to learn more. Open to everyone in the Armed Forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Home Depot has free carpet installation for any carpet purchase over $699. Free installation, as in no hidden fees for moving furniture, ripping out old carpet, carpeting stairs. Fees other places charge for their free carpet installation, we don't. For carpet installation that really is free, start with carpet from the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately. License numbers available at homedepot.com/license numbers.
Every business needs great people, and a better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter knew there was a smarter way, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. ZipRecruiter learns what you're looking for, identifies people with the right experience, and invites them to apply to your job. In fact, 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just 1 day. And ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. They even spotlight the strongest applications you receive, so you never miss a great match. Goodbye Post and Pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This week on Big Easy Deals, get a family 4-pack to the Audubon Aquarium of the Americas. At the aquarium, penguins, stingrays, sharks, and other deep-sea creatures await your visit. Get your family 4-pack for only $48 at FoxSportsAM1280.com. Keyword deals.
An eagerly anticipated round one at the Masters ended with Jordan Spieth right where he's been many times at Augusta, in the lead. Despite a bogey on 18, Spieth shot a 66 and finished the round today at 6 under. He is followed by Tony Finau and Matt Kuchar at 4 under. Finau almost didn't play today due to an ankle injury suffered yesterday in a freak accident at the par 3 contest. A large group sits at 3 under, including Henrik Stenson, Patrick Reed, Charlie Hoffman, Alan Hadwin, and Rory McIlroy. Zach Johnson, Mark Leishman, Phil Mickelson, and Ricky Fowler all sit at 2 under. As expected, a very large gallery followed Tiger Woods throughout his return after a 3-year absence. The 4-time champion finished the day with a 1/73. And a very disappointing day for last year's winner, Sergio Garcia. He finished at 9 over for the day after shooting a 13 on the 14th hole. But for now, Jordan Spieth is in the lead at the 82nd Masters. In Augusta at the Masters, John Clark, NBC News Radio.
This is Dunc and Holder on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Welcome back, Dunc and Holder. Matt Kuchar and Jordan Spieth are tied for the lead at the Masters, 4 under par. Jordan Spieth doubles the first hole, and look, locked and loaded leaderboard. A lot of familiar faces that we've certainly seen play at the TPC Louisiana, and I'm sure we'll be anticipating seeing those play there in a couple of weeks. Pleased to have on the show Steve Worthy, the CEO of the 4Kids Foundation, and of course they put on the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Steve, I know once you get to the Masters, gauging how close the Zurich Classic is, I know there's the excitement and there's the getting the players committed, and I know you guys were able to kind of get some commitments yesterday. Just kind of give us an update on the commitment list, and just you're seeing some of the guys who've already been committed to the tournament already at the top of the leaderboard at the Masters already.
We are. I mean, guys are continuing to commit, and we've still got a lot more to go. It's always good to see some of our regulars and guys that we're going to see this year around the leaderboard. We're certainly always hoping to have the Masters champ every year, and we like where that stands right now. We've Matt Kuchar is playing with Bubba Watson, and Matt obviously is up there, and we've announced him. Justin Rose and Henrik Stenson both played well. Henrik's right there. Sergio had a little bump in the road yesterday, unfortunately, but Rafa Cabrera-Bello, his partner, started the day 3 under, played well yesterday. A lot of great names. I mean, yesterday we announced Louis Oosthuizen. He and Charles Schwartzel as a team. Charles is a past Masters champion, and Louis has won a major and played well yesterday, which is always good to see. We also announced Zach Johnson, who's got both the Masters and a British Open championship. So, a lot of good teams today. We haven't put it out yet, but we're about to release Jason Day. He's a regular, and always happy to have Jason Day come back. He's playing with Ryan Ruffles. And then Tommy Fleetwood, who's the number 12 player in the world from England. He's a PGA Tour member this year. He's playing with an English player named Chris Paisley. So got a lot of great names already out, and a lot more still to come that we'll keep releasing over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, Steve, Jason Day, obviously a great addition to the field. Can you update us? When is the cutoff for teams, and how much activity do you expect in the next week or two before the cutoff of commitments?
Well, they have until the Friday before the event at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, which is April 20th. It can be a little frustrating at times. I mean, guys, some of them won't officially commit, although we know they've got hotel reservations, they've got restaurant reservations, they've told us they're coming. But we're really, it wouldn't be smart of us to announce them until they've officially committed to the PGA Tour. So, we know we've still got some very big names that are coming. But, there are probably still 6 or 8 pretty impactful teams that we'll be announcing in the next 2 weeks. So there are still some really good names to come.
All right, Steve. Well, obviously, a lot of people interested in the chances of Tiger Woods being a part of the field. Can you just give us any type of insight into, is there a possibility that he could come play?
Well, we're still talking, and it's making sure he matches up with the right partner. That's obviously very important, and we've had some conversations about who that right fit may be. We're not done yet. We're still talking, and that would. I feel confident we're going to get him, and have been told that by his people that we're going to get him. Whether it's this year or in the future, that he is going to come play in New Orleans. But we're still very hopeful for this year, so I have not ruled that out yet.
And what will it come down to, Steve? Like, what are the factors that play into this? Is it simply how he's playing at the time or how he plays this weekend? Or what's going into the calculus here?
Well, I think it's his schedule. I mean, he does course design. His health. Obviously, we've all been thrilled to see him be able to play weeks in a row and have no setbacks health-wise. How he's feeling, what the upcoming schedule is. But I think as much as anything, it's just he's got to be comfortable that he's got the right partner. That's a big draw for us, at his level, there are only certain guys that would be the right fit.
Would the tournament, say if you were to land Tiger Woods, does that change things for you all? Do you all have to make some contingency plans when you get a big draw like him into the field?
We do, and we already have. Whether it would be Tiger or Phil or somebody of that level, we would certainly see a boost in attendance. I mean, we had record crowds last year, and based on where we're headed right now, I would expect we would break last year's records, and then throw in a situation like that'll take it to a whole nother level. But yeah, I mean we've got, from a parking standpoint, a security standpoint, I mean we've got a plan that would accommodate all those things. So we're ready for that part. So.
Steve Worthy, CEO of the Four Kids Foundation. Of course, they put on the Zurich Classic. Joining us right here on Dunc and Holder. As far as what goes on in the Masters, do you have to sometimes pivot, say, if someone kind of from, say, left field wins the Masters? Do you kind of make a concerted effort to veer that way and try to go land a player like that? Or how much flexibility can you have, after the Masters is over?
Well, we've talked to most everybody. I mean, we know who's coming. Fortunately for us, there haven't been a lot of guys who said no, but there have been some that say it just doesn't fit their schedule this year. So, a guy, if he was not currently committed or not currently planning on playing, with all the media obligations and everything that take place after the Masters for a winner, yes, if he were not currently planning on playing, we would certainly make a run at him, but. Yeah, I don't. That's not a big part of the plan. It would probably be tough to swing a guy who's not currently planning, just because of everything that changes in his life after he would win Augusta.
Steve, as far as I feel like I asked you this last time you came on, but as far as how the course is shaping up over at TPC, any minor tweaks of what's going on? Obviously, there's not going to be any major tweaks, but any minor tweaks of what you guys are doing maybe throughout the week or with the course leading up to this thing?
Yeah, not a lot. I mean, weather plays a big factor in preparing the golf course, but the TPC crew does a great job of getting it ready. The feedback has been very positive about the condition of the golf course. But in terms of changes to holes or tees or any of that sort of thing, it's really nothing major taking place. Like you said, little tweaks just to make sure the condition is exactly as those guys want it.
And as far as you mentioned the matching the teammates, I mean, obviously a lot of guys have buddies on the tour. How often do you have someone who says, hey, I want to play, and doesn't have a partner? Does that ever happen, and you got to kind of like, hey, meet so-and-so, and you guys play together?
Well, it's interesting to see some of the pairings, guys who've matched up, and, is it because they played Ryder Cup together, or they're friends, or they went to college together? I'll use Sam Burns, the kid from LSU who's played great this year. Will McGirt, who's going to be his partner, has been kind of his mentor on tour. I was talking to William. They were driving from Tampa to Orlando to Bay Hill together, and Sam was in third place, and unfortunately he made a triple on 16. And Will was telling me kind of how Sam, as a young guy, was reacting to that, and kind of coach him in life. If you play this game, those kind of things are going to happen. But that's kind of that mentor relationship. But as it relates to singles, it got a lot of attention in golf circles. David Hearn, a Canadian player who's been exempt on the PGA Tour for 8 or so years, has had some pretty decent finishes here. But unfortunately, he's outside the line to be able to pick his own partner. And he put out an appeal on Twitter and social media saying, look, I've played well in New Orleans in the past. Unfortunately, this year I can't pick a partner, but I'm looking and I want to come play. Essentially, somebody come pick me. So, the Golf Channel and a lot of others picked up on that. And, it's unusual that it happens. I mean, I know of a couple of players right now who are looking. And so, when their agent calls, and I say, well, I know of 3 or 4 others, and, you kind of try to matchmake a little bit if you can help guys find partners. But most of them have a pretty good idea in mind before they start as to who they want to partner with.
And one of the people you obviously have on your headline list is Justin Thomas, the world's number 2 ranked player right now. I mean, who knows? He could be number 1 by the time the Zurich rolls around. He seems to like coming down here. Have you talked to him in his camp? What is it about the Zurich, obviously, that attracts Justin to playing down here?
Well, I mean, Justin played as a rookie and played very well his first year as an individual. But Justin was one of those. He made no bones about it. He was on the Walker Cup, a winning Walker Cup team, and he made no bones about the fact that I love team golf. And he wanted to play on the President's Cup team. He wanted to play on the Ryder Cup team. He loves having a partner and being in that situation. And, I think for a lot of those guys, that's the draw. It's a chance to do something different. You really, other than President's Cup, Ryder Cup, you don't get to do it throughout the year. So being able to come here and being able to pick a partner, I mean, Justin and Bud Cauley, his partner, are roommates. They both played at University of Alabama, so there are a lot of connections there.
Alabama? No, they're out. I don't think LSU fans going to approve of that. Sorry, Steve.
I struggle with that a little bit as an LSU grad, but certainly we want them both here, and they're both playing well. But I think just the fact that they get to play with a partner and get some prep for the big international team competitions, and most of the word that just keeps coming out from everybody is fun. They just enjoy it because it's something different and it's fun.
Steve Worley, CEO of the 4Kids Foundation. Of course, they put on the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Great anticipation leading up to the event at the end of the month. And, of course, you're going to be seeing plenty of folks who are playing in the Masters make their way down to New Orleans. Steve, really appreciate the time, as always.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Steve.
That's Steve Worthy. All right, let's take a break right here on the show. When we get back, Gene Gilliatt will break down the WrestleMania card. Jeff has got his match docket out. He's going to be taking notes. He's going to be wondering who's going to walk away as the, what is it, Clyde? Universal Champion?
Yes.
Is that what that thing's called now?
You got the Universal Championship. You got that one. Raw Championship. You got so many things. Oh wait. Now my mic is on. I turned it on. Rookie. You got the U.S. Championship. The I think not the Intercontinental belt, but you got the Raw Championship. All these things going on. It's going to be a really, really great interview. We'll be able to jump into all of it with Gene. Well, I want to call him Mean Gene. Mean Gene Gilliatt.
He could be Mean Gene Gilliatt, yeah.
Right?
There you go. And then after that, we will hear Clyde's interview with Alexa Bliss around 10 minutes from now, which Clyde, wipe the drool off your face.
A lot of wrestling talk.
It's WrestleMania Sunday, bro.
That's not going on? That's not drool, dude. Those are tears. Tears of joy.
Oh, my God.
Tears of joy.
Turn his mic back off.
Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Older.
Your forecast on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
This report is brought to you by the addiction treatment experts at Long Branch Wellness.
I'm meteorologist Nikandra Norwood in Fox 8 Weather Center. Stormy conditions moved by quickly this morning, and the wind moved in behind the front, pushing in the cooler, drier air. We are going to see temperatures hovering in the 60s for most of the afternoon, peaking right around the 70-degree mark for most. Drying out, though, and that's going to be nice as we head into the overnight hours. Look for chilly and clear conditions to kick off your Thursday, and then Thursday should be a great day with lots of sunshine and temperatures rebounding into the middle 70s. For Fox 8, your weather authority and Bounce TV, I'm meteorologist Nikandra Norwood.
New Orleans, the addiction treatment program you deserve. Long Branch Wellness. It's highly confidential, affordable, convenient, and completely outpatient. We can help you feel normal again, and nobody needs to know but you. Call Long Branch at 504-635-3535.
We're here in this new neighborhood to talk about the American dream. Looking good, boys. A dream that Navy Federal Credit Union wants to help you celebrate with a mortgage that you won't lose sleep over. Navy Federal offers 100% financing, no private mortgage insurance, and even no money down on a variety of conventional and VA loans. So start living your dream today. Subject to approval, 100% financing loans include an additional funding fee. Visit NavyFederal.org for more information. Open to the Armed Forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
The Home Depot has free carpet installation for any carpet purchase over $699. Free installation, as in no hidden fees for moving furniture, ripping out old carpet, carpeting stairs. Fees other places charge for their free carpet installation, we don't. For carpet installation that really is free, start with carpet from the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately. License numbers available at homedepot.com/license numbers.
Mr. Ed's Seafood and Italian Restaurant, serving the best fried chicken in town. Fresh Louisiana seafood as well as delicious Italian dishes. Try our daily chef specials or an overstuffed po' boy. Open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. with 2 locations to serve you. In Bucktown at 1001 Live Oak between Bonneville and Lake Avenue, or in Kenner at 910 West Esplanade at Chateau Boulevard. Let Mr. Ed's cater your next event. Mr. Ed's Seafood and Italian Restaurant. 2 great locations, 1 great menu. Mr. Ed's Oyster Bar and Fish House, now open in the quarter 7 days a week at 512 Bienville.
I want this t-shirt in green and blue. Mom's gonna say no.
At JCPenney, she won't.
And these shorts and the tie-dye tee, too.
When it's buy one, get one free?
I can't have everything. Go to JCPenney.
Hurry into JCPenney to get buy one, get one free on select Arizona apparel store-wide. Plus, take an extra 20% off with your JCPenney credit card and coupon. JCPenney, style and value for all. Coupon valid 4/6 to 4/15. Credit offer subject to credit approval. Some restrictions and exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
There's searching for low prices on appliances, and then there's finding them. At the Home Depot, get Spring Black Friday savings of up to 35% on appliance special buys, like a Whirlpool top freezer refrigerator in stainless steel for just $398. Spring has sprung with up to 35% off appliance special buys at Spring Black Friday. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through April 25th, U.S. only, while supplies last. See store for details. This spring, pour on the color in your landscape. It's easy with your choice of Earthgrow or Vigoro colored mulch from the Home Depot. Spring Black Friday price now at 5 bags for just $10. Mulch that protects your plants by retaining moisture in beautiful shades of red, brown, or black, maintained for up to 12 months. So a colorful garden is in the bag. Earthgrow and Vigoro mulch, 5 bags, $10. Now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Color selection may vary by store. Limit 60 bags per customer. Offer valid until April 11th.
The uncensored talk about your teams. Sports 1280, New Orleans.
On a Country Fried Friday, here on Dunc and Holder. Second appearance of the week. It must be big if we're getting G. Gilead back on. WrestleMania is on Sunday. And Gene, what's the main match that you are looking most forward to when you are attending Sunday in the Superdome?
Main match I'm looking forward to on Sunday is for the WWE title. Champion AJ Styles defending against Shinsuke Nakamura. They're calling it a dream match, and I've been waiting for it for at least a year myself. They haven't fought in WWE before. They have fought in Japan in one of the best matches of all time, and they're looking to go up another notch on Sunday.
Well, Gene, okay, I keep seeing speculation floating out there. I thought Undertaker was retired. Is he going to be ended up wrestling John Cena? Is that like the hot rumor that's out there?
The Undertaker is retired. He retired last year at WrestleMania. But John Cena doesn't have an opponent for Sunday, and he's been calling out The Undertaker for one more match. Undertaker hasn't responded, so Cena is content to go to WrestleMania as a fan. But who's buying that? Nobody. I think that The Undertaker will be at WrestleMania. He will fight John Cena, but he will not come out as The Undertaker.
What's he going to come out as?
A previous persona from 2000, the American Badass.
I thought that was me.
I thought he was going to come out as Mean Mark Callis, like way back in WCW. See, Gene, I know something.
It's kind of that persona.
See, I know something.
It's called American Badass.
I know something.
And he comes out on a bike. And
so he's not going to come out in a coffin?
No, he's going to come out to the ring on a motorbike, played to the ring by Kid Rock.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was awesome.
And Kid Rock is going to be at WrestleMania because he's being inducted into the Celebrity Wing of the Hall of Fame. So all the pieces are in place for that to happen, and fans to get treated to a Cena versus Undertaker match at WrestleMania.
All right, Gene, is this the first time that Ronda Rousey is actually wrestling? Is that right?
This will be Ronda Rousey's first wrestling match at WrestleMania in the Superdome on Sunday. She will be teaming with famer Kurt Angle to take on Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, who run the place. It's the big attraction match of WrestleMania. It's not supposed to be a wrestling classic.
As Gene has dropped off. Oh, there he is.
And interesting to see what happens. It's expected that Ronda will be winning, of course, and starting her career off on a high note. She might even break Stephanie's arm.
Oh, really break it? Or just like wrestling break?
Well, I don't know. Stephanie will show up in a cast for a couple of months.
Always a storyline to find.
Yeah. No, one more, because we're kind of up against it because Clyde actually got a chance to catch up with Alexa Bliss earlier, and we're going to play that interview in our next segment. But one more thing that probably stands out to me is that Daniel Bryan, he's making his return to WWE, right? And didn't he win the title last time he was here for WrestleMania?
Daniel Bryan won the main event at WrestleMania 34 years ago at the Superdome in one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history. He's had a lot of injuries since then, but he's finally medically cleared to return. Just so happens his first match back, right back in the Superdome, this Sunday at WrestleMania. He'll be teaming with Stephanie's brother Shane McMahon to take on the team of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who have been at odds with those two, and they have really been a thorn in Shane and Daniel's side, and they're looking for revenge on Sunday. It's going to be quite electric when Daniel Bryan comes back out. He's probably the most popular wrestler in terms of like pure hardcore wrestling fans, probably, I don't know, since Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Wow. All right, that's Gene Gilliatt, NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. He's been covering the event all week long.
You don't want to talk about the main event?
Well, it seems like boring. We missed it if you haven't talked about it yet.
Well, you didn't ask about it. The main event, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title.
John Cena and Undertaker might be the main event. You listed AJ Styles and Nakamura as the best match. So, hey, Brock Lesnar, we're out. All right, Gene, great job as always, bud. Take care.
All right.
All right. You don't want to talk about the main event. He didn't mention it, so hey, what do you want me to do?
So many other things, though, about what's crazy about this entire card is that there's so many other storylines that you can get lost in that before you talk about the main events.
All right, Clyde's the interview with Alexa Bliss coming up next. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holder.
The Pelicans' final push to the playoffs is on News Talk 99.5, WRNO. And then join our Sports 1280 New Orleans All-Stars for insight, analysis, and inside info as the Pels do it big.
Message and data rates may apply.
Hi, I'm Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. After I left baseball, I just couldn't stay in shape like I used to. Turns out, once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone, and that can make it harder to get into shape. So I got back into the game with Nugenics. I'm feeling stronger with a lot more energy and drive. You want to get back into shape? Get Nugenics. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Frank's right. Just text TIP to 321321 to get a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And guys, she'll like the difference too.
Nugenic samples are not available in stores. To get your complimentary bottle, text TIP to 321321. That's TIP to 321321.
You'll never forget your first car, and you'll never forget your first car wreck. When this happens to you, you need an attorney who can help you get your car fixed, help get you the medical attention you need, and help get you all the money you deserve. Don't deal with the insurance companies without an attorney. They have teams of lawyers and adjusters trying to pay you as little as possible for your injuries. If you're in a wreck and you need a check, call Mike Brander today. We'll work hard to get you all the money you deserve and keep you out of court.
Hurt in a wreck, Mike Brander's the one. Call 345-1111.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter knew there was a smarter way, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. ZipRecruiter learns what you're looking for, identifies people with the right experience, and invites them to apply to your job. In fact, 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. And ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. They even spotlight the strongest applications you receive, so you never miss a great match. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The new John Deere 100 Series lawn tractors at the Home Depot cut a lot more than grass. They also cut oil changes down to 30 seconds. With their patented system, oil changes are as simple as click, lock, and done. Plus, come in now for up to a $300 gift card with select John Deere riding mowers that will also cut your costs. Get cutting with time-saving John Deere mowers and a free gift card only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Purchase a John Deere riding lawnmower in-store or online between April 5th and April 18th, 2018 and receive a Home Depot gift card. Amounts vary by model.
It's a new way to party with friends under the umbrellas or on the new Sky Deck watching great golf. Enjoy fresh oysters, fried seafood, and cocktails. The Acme Oyster House, right on the course at the Zurich Classic, April 26th through 29th. For tickets, call today or visit ZurichGolfClassic.com.
This is Dunc and Holder on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Dunc and Holder on a Friday, and I am thrilled to be joined today, one of the top superstars in WWE, Little Miss Bliss, as some like to call her. And if you don't watch your steps, she might put you in a snap DDT. So, Alexa Bliss, thank you for coming on the show. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. So we're going to start this interview. I'm sure every other interview has started. We're going to talk about Disney. So we're going to talk about Disney stuff. And I know you saw that Disney movie bracket that got everybody fired up on social media. It was like every movie, like a bracket style, caused everybody problems. What was your Final Four and who would have won?
So, okay, with the bracket, I didn't follow that one. I made my own.
Oh.
So I actually, hold on, let me.
I love that. See, that's the good part about trying to ask different questions.
I made a smaller bracket, and then because I saw the bracket, and I was in a bit of an uproar. I mean, let's be honest.
That's fair, because, I mean, obviously there were some people who were giving upsets, and then everybody getting angry, and it was just one of those things where it was kind of like, how could you put this movie here? What about The Lion King? All those kinds of things.
Well, my Final Four, I'm just going to go with my Final Four.
Fair.
Are Monsters, Inc., Toy Story, Beauty and the Beast, and, what was my last one?
Lion King, Aladdin, Little Mermaid.
I think it was Lion King.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, those are four of the best ones anyway.
Right.
I mean, as Disney kids, I mean, that's kind of
I know, like especially Toy Story. It always pulls at the heartstrings.
Right.
I felt I remember when I watched Toy Story 2, I went home from the theater and I took all of my toys from my toy box and put them in bed and laid them with me because I felt so sad when Jessie was singing that song When She Loved Me, and like her doll, like she doesn't play with her doll anymore, and like. Oh, I'm getting like upset thinking about
sorry.
it.
See, I always try to do this early, so it's fine.
And so I remember just like gathering all my toys and putting them in bed with me because I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't played with you in like a year. And so like I was, oh my gosh, it always gets me. Toy Story, man.
That's actually a pretty solid. That's actually a pretty solid Fallen 4. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's actually really good. And the reason I asked you that because obviously, obviously reading about you specifically as a person, and we'll get into WWE in a hot second, but obviously Disney has been a big part of your life. You know, you said that you used to go to Disney a lot as a child, and how you've always had a love of Disney. So talk a little bit about that. Then specifically, I want you to tell me what's your favorite ride at Disney.
Well, I've always loved Disney. When I was younger, I knew every line to Beauty and the Beast. From the moment I could talk, I was quoting Beauty and the Beast, and it was on repeat. My parents took me to Disney World for the first time when I was 3 years old, because they didn't want to take me too young to where I couldn't remember it, and you know they were teenagers when they had me, so they didn't have a lot of money. So it was one of those things that we did every year. I spent my Sweet 16 there.
Wow.
I celebrated my graduation at Disney, and now I live in Orlando, so I'm there literally every weekend. And for me, Disney was one of those things. I had suffered an eating disorder, and so before the doctors were trying to admit me into an actual eating disorder inpatient center, my parents were like, let us just take her on vacation, get away from doctors, because I've seen like 5 doctors a day. And they're like, let's just get her away. And we went to Disney. And Disney was like my happy place. And that was one of the starting points. I went with my best friend, Erin. And that was that was my place where I found my happiness. And I was able to step out of being sick and being, feeling certain ways. And it just made me happy. And I remember I started eating cheese fries at Disney. And that was one of those things. And it was just, Disney's always been like my happy place for me. And I love Disney. I have a collection of almost every ear you can imagine.
Nice.
Mike Rome, our ring announcer, made me a personalized pair of Starbucks ears.
Wow.
Because I love coffee.
Are they like
if
coffee
you look
cups?
If you look at my phone case,
It's legit though, by the way.
yeah, thank you. It's green ears that has the logo and a black glittery bow, and they're Disney ears, but it has like the Starbucks logo over it. And I was floored.
Hashtag jealous.
It was the
I'm not
best
gonna
thing
lie to you.
ever.
Yeah.
And I have and a fan has actually made me custom Alexa Bliss ears before. They're all glittery, and they have my logo on each side, and they have spikes and studs, and that's actually being framed in my closet. It's very nice.
That's nice. Now, that's the kind of insider stuff that I want to make sure people get here on the
Exactly.
show.
And my
thank you
favorite
for giving it to
ride
me.
is Space Mountain because it scares the living crap out of me every time.
Everybody.
I always say I'm never riding it again, and then I go full Dory mode, and I'm like, oh, there's no line, and jump back on.
Yeah, who needs a fast pass? Whatever.
Exactly.
And specifically, I wanted to jump into that next because obviously, when you talk about your eating disorder, you talk about how finding sports, specifically, like bodybuilding, and you were a Division I cheerleader at Akron, right?
Yes.
So you were very, very sports driven. Clearly, growing up, I mean, not only did that, you did like softball, other sports. Talk a little bit about how the foundation in those sports not only led you to where you are now, but maybe helped you get to understanding what it was going to take to now be on the stage here in the WWE and now about to be in WrestleMania.
I'd have to say the best things my parents ever done for me was put me in sports. I was in gymnastics at age 4. On the off season of gymnastics, I played softball. When I transitioned to All-Star Cheer, during the off season of All-Star Cheer, I was doing kickboxing, and everything just kind of snowballed from there. And I remember one of my first days at gymnastics, what they do is they teach you how to fall. They'll put you on like a low balance beam, and they'll push you off and teach you how to fall safely. And I feel like that's where I've learned my body awareness, my air awareness, and that helps me a lot in the ring. But with that being said, when I was first signed with WWE, I was competing in bodybuilding. I was doing boot camps 4 times a week. I was still keeping up with my gymnastics. I was going to the gymnastics gym and tumbling around and just keeping up with, what my body could do. But nothing prepares you for what your body goes through in the ring. I cannot even tell you. My first week, I called my mom, and I was just like, I can't do this. This hurts so bad. My body hurts. I said, muscles that I don't even know existed hurt. And
Fair.
Because what we do is like we do all these high risk maneuvers. Matches are not easy. The ring's not soft. I thought, watching on TV, like people like bounce off of it pretty easily. I'm like, oh, it must be springy. No, it is wood and metal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And So that was the biggest surprise for me. And I just remember thinking, I was like, my goodness, how am I going to do this? And then my mom just was like, stick with it, because once it clicks, it clicks. That's how you were in gymnastics, how you were in cheerleading. Because when I first started in gymnastics and cheerleading, I was terrible. Like I was god awful.
Those aren't easy things to start with.
Yeah, and then once it clicked, you know, I held national titles in cheer and bodybuilding and all these things, and it's just finding that moment to where it clicks for you and allowing yourself to believe that you can actually go through it and do it.
Yeah, and I mean, specifically, not only just that, but once you finally turn that corner, one thing I'm interested to hear your take on, or at least get a little bit more in depth on, is that I read your interview, I believe it was in Newsweek, talking about how, you know, most or some people thought you were quote unquote an underwhelming pick, but now you're going into a huge match in WrestleMania.
Yes.
When you make that transition from being a partial unknown and coming from, you know, a world that's a little bit different than wrestling to now being on the biggest stage, that transition for you must have been, once you finally realized how far you'd come, now it's almost kind of like all that work paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when I was in NXT, it was very hard to see kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, because, you know, when you're in NXT, you're there 6 days a week. Your hours are sometimes 8 a.m. to 1 a.m., and that's 6 days a week. You only get Sundays off. And I remember it's a Groundhog Day, and you're just constantly going. And I wasn't, you know, given the opportunities to have a takeover match. I'd never held a title. I wasn't seen as a main star in NXT because I was also kind of in the shadows of the Four Horsewomen. You know, I remember I saw them develop. I saw everything happen. I was there on Becky's first day. You know, I was there. No one realized I was there, but I was there back in Tampa when it was FCW. And so it was a long road to get to the superstar draft. And I remember thinking that there was no way I was going to be drafted, you know, because I wasn't showcased as anything. I was a valet. I wasn't really getting a lot of time in the ring on NXT TV, but I was working the live events, which people also didn't really realize because they didn't see, it's not televised. And so to be drafted, I was kind of terrified, because I knew that I had to come in under the radar and kick down the door. You know, opportunities don't come more than once a lot of times. So I had to make sure that I made the most out of every opportunity and try to set myself apart, because I always have to say you have to be first, better, or different. And so that's kind of where I've taken that mentality and try to use it and evolve into what I have today. And I'm very, very, you know, grateful for the opportunities I've been given with WWE, and it's been an amazing ride.
And I guess as the longest serving Raw champion,
yes.
I think you've probably done that in spades. So obviously let's talk a little bit about this Sunday, the hashtag Fight with the Besties. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes down, and just talk a little bit about the match. What are you expecting? What are you looking forward to, just in terms of the overall show aspect and just everything about it?
Well, WrestleMania is going to be amazing. Every year it gets better and better and bigger, and you know, we have everyone coming from all 50 states, over 60 countries. You know, the fan base is there. WWE Universe is going to be there in full effect. And, you know, we feed off that energy because what we do is for the WWE Universe. And, you know, there are a lot of titles on the line. And our title match is a little different, though, because, you know, ours is personal. We're best friends, former best friends. And, you know, I'm not obviously going to physically outdo Nia. That's just not going to happen. She's 6 foot tall. You know, she's a lot stronger than me. I'm 5 foot, you know, and
5 feet of fury.
Exactly. But so my mentality has been, I was actually thinking about this. I was like, so I've been talking a lot of game. Do I back it up or do I run away before I have to? Do you know what I mean?
Fair question.
So now we're at WrestleMania and I'm forced to back it up. And so I know I'm not going to beat her down physically, so I'm just going to have to do it mentally. You know, she's my best friend. I know her weaknesses. I know what makes her tick. I know what makes her happy. I know what makes her sad. I know what makes her self-conscious. And so I have to use that to my advantage and exploit it. You know, friendship has to go away on the side for competition.
Absolutely, and I guess when it comes to one of those fantastic belts that I'm disappointed that you don't have, because I actually want to put it on.
Actually, it's in my bag.
I'm
gonna put see it.
So yeah, I want to see that right now, and then I'm going to put it on when we're done. I don't care how star-studded it is. I'm going to put that thing on because I have no shame.
It's right here next to my Red
Bull. And
Bull.
it looks gorgeous. Yeah, we're going to take a picture of that. So while I've had the luxury of talking to Miss Bliss today, you can actually do the same thing this Saturday at 1 p.m. More tickets have been released for Access, which is going on right now at the Montreal Convention Center here downtown. Go to Ticketmaster.com to pick up tickets there, and you also can see this wonderful belt and wonderful wrestler in person. Alexa Bliss, it has been my pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, that's Alexa Bliss, and we'll be right back with more. Duncan Holder of Sports 1280, NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. We'll be right back.
Oh, smart speaker on my desk. Who is smarter than all the rest?
A stable genius you may be, but those who win the smart money are surely more wise than thee.
You have up to 16 chances a day, every weekday to win $1,000 on Sports 1280, New Orleans. WODT, WNOE, FM, HD2, New Orleans. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app. Search Sports 1280. WODT, WNOE, FM, HD2, New Orleans. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app. Search Sports 1280.
Fox Sports trending now.
USC President Dana White says 3 fights have been lost for UFC 223 because of the stunt Conor McGregor pulled on Thursday, including throwing a steel dolly through the window of a moving bus that was carrying several UFC fighters and staffers.
When you bring in, 20 hoodlums to basically do this at our event, like I said, there's nothing like this that has ever happened.
Connor as well flew in from Ireland.
He flew them in. He's the one. Flew them all in on a private jet. They all flew in to do this.
FS1, Dana White there. Meanwhile, at the Masters, second round, a rough start for Jordan Spieth. He led the first round, shooting 6 under par. He started the day with a double bogey, then a bogey. He is 3 under par through 3. Still has a share of the lead, along with Rory McIlroy, who's 3 under par. Tiger Woods tees off at 1:30 Eastern. I'm Deb Carson.
We are Play Ball!
Your shot at $1,000 now.
Text the keyword
money
to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info.
Standard data and message rates apply.
That's
money
to 200-200.
Derek Smalls, formerly of the band formerly known as Spinal Tap. Lukewarm Water Live.
Hello, this is Derek Smalls. In Lukewarm Water Live, loudness is just the beginning. Come for the journey. Stay for the parking.
Saturday, April 21st, 7:30 p.m., Sanger Theater, New Orleans, featuring the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Sanger Theater box office.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter knew there was a smarter way, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. ZipRecruiter learns what you're looking for, identifies people with the right experience, and invites them to apply to your job. In fact, 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just 1 day. And ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. They even spotlight the strongest applications you receive, so you never miss a great match. Goodbye Post and Pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm attorney Mike Brandner. When you're hurt in a car wreck, time matters. The time it takes you to call for help, the time it takes you to get medical treatment, and the time it takes you to call an attorney can all affect the value of your case. We have a team of professionals and experts waiting to begin working on your case the moment you call. The faster you call us, the faster we can get you the money you deserve. In a wreck, need a check? Call Mike Brandner today. We're available 24/7, 345-1111.
Hurt in a wreck, Mike Brenner's the one. Call 345-1111.
We're here in this new neighborhood to talk about the American dream. Looking good, boys. A dream that Navy Federal Credit Union wants to help you celebrate with a mortgage that you won't lose sleep over. Navy Federal offers 100% financing, no private mortgage insurance, and even no money down on a variety of conventional and VA loans. So start living your dream today. Subject to approval, 100% financing loans include an additional funding fee. Visit NavyFederal.org for more information. Open to the Armed Forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
The Home Depot has free carpet installation for any carpet purchase over $699. Free installation, as in no hidden fees for moving furniture, ripping out old carpet, carpeting stairs. Fees other places charge for their free carpet installation, we don't. For carpet installation that really is free, start with carpet from the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately. License numbers available at homedepot.com/license numbers.
What is big? Big is DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis. Fire and ice, boogie in the brow. It's two of the league's most dynamic big men. It's razor wire around the rim on defense and a powder keg offense ignited by explosive ball handling. See the Pels play the San Antonio Spurs Wednesday, April 11th at our fantastic finale. First 9,000 fans get a free Rajon Rondo bobblehead. Visit Pelicans.com for tickets. New Orleans Pelicans. Do it big.
Here's today's tax tip. Filing a tax return can be overwhelming for a new taxpayer, but there are some easy steps to follow to help avoid panic. IRS spokesman Eric Smith says first-timers have many tax resources at their disposal.
One thing that I think is a great option, especially for first-time filers, is to take a look at the IRS free file system as a method of getting your taxes done.
By late January or early February, employees should get their W-2 from each workplace where they earned a salary. This will show how much you made and the amount of taxes that were withheld. Independent contractors will get a 1099 from each job, which only shows earnings. Students looking to file tax returns should talk with their parents first and find out if they're planning to list you as a dependent. Next, you'll have to decide how to file. More and more people are using tax software to complete and file their returns. New taxpayers might be more comfortable getting personal help from either an accountant or a tax operation. Many times, inexperienced taxpayers overlook deductions. That's today's tax tip from NBC News Radio. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Dunc and Holder, our number.
Hashtag jealous I am that you got to interview Alexa Bliss.
She was awesome. She was great. It was a great conversation. Obviously, as you can tell through the interview, she was really personable, really down to earth. And obviously, you know, these wrestlers, these entertainers, they're doing so many interviews today, and you know, you don't want them to feel like you're going to ask them the same things. And we still got to the heart of it, which she's got a big match against Nia Jax on Sunday. But talking about Disney, talking about her background as a competitive cheerleader at the University of Akron, being Ohio native. I mean, it was just it just lends itself. But it's always with the guys we've had on. I really sad we just missed Braun Strowman, but having Bobby Roode on yesterday, these guys have been so down to earth, so nice, so long days for one of the biggest days of their lives coming in really 2 days now.
Absolutely. You missed any of that? Sports1280.com, NOLA.com's YouTube page. You could check that out as well. And now, we didn't have a chance to kind of follow up when we talked with Steve Worthy, the CEO of the 4Kids Foundation. Of course, they put on the Zurich Classic. He certainly didn't back away from the possibility of Tiger Woods playing in the Zurich Classic. That, Jeff, we've talked with Steve plenty of times throughout the years, on the record, off the record, just, you know, shooting the breeze, whatever. And that is the closest I've ever heard of Tiger making a trip down to New Orleans.
No, I mean, he did that unsolicited. We just asked him what the chances are, and he seemed very confident, more confident than I've ever heard him be. I still think it's somewhat of a long shot just because, you know, Tiger's got to play well, I think, this week in Augusta, and he's playing okay, so he's certainly still in the mix at 1 over, but I think it's going to come down to how he plays this weekend. But Steve obviously has been talking to Tiger's camp, and he must be getting some positive feedback, or he would not have been as confident as he was in saying basically, we're going to get him. It might not be this year, but at some point in the future, we're going to get Tiger Woods. And that would be huge for not just golf fans. It'd be huge for sports fans. It'd be huge for our city to get Tiger Woods to play at the Zurich Classic. And he takes the tournament, which is already incredible field, that potential to take it to another level, be the greatest field we've ever had if Tiger joined.
Just a heads up, Steve also said that Jason Day is going to be committed. He's played last year. He's one of the best golfers in the world. And a rising star, Tyler Fleetwood, he is top 12?
Yes.
And so he's going to be joining the field. And so, but outside of that, look, the Tiger Woods factor, people have been anticipating this Masters for quite a few months because of the improved play of Tiger Woods. He's not atop the leaderboard. He is yet to tee off. I know he teed off early yesterday, so he's going to be teeing off this afternoon.
So he finished 3 over yesterday, right? It was like 3 over.
Let me take a look. I'm looking through the leaderboard, and I can't find it. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I know he's going to be teeing off at some point.
Tiger Woods is 1 over.
Okay, yeah. I passed him up. I was looking. 1 over, he tees off at, I don't know if this is 12:27. I don't know if that's Central or Eastern. Regardless, he's yet to tee off. So he will be doing that, and I'm sure you'll be able to watch his full round when the ESPN coverage starts up here in a couple of hours. But you look at the top of the leaderboard right now, you have got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-way tie for first place right now. So this field is going to be leveling out here shortly. But I don't think there's any question about it that if Tiger Woods plays in the Zurich, I think it would be one of the huge sports moments in the history of New Orleans, honestly. Biggest, most widely known, one of the best golfers to ever play golf, finally playing in New Orleans. And you heard Steve talking about it. They were talking about, who could he partner up with and this, that, and the other. And I know that there's the speculation. Remember, a couple weeks ago, it was the lead story or lead blurb on, was it the Golf Channel's website, Jeff, that you showed me?
Yes.
Potentially linking him and Phil Mickelson, and they both played a practice round together in the Masters and drew a lot of attention from that too.
Can you imagine if that were to happen?
I can't imagine. It would be too good to be true.
It would definitely raise the bar. And Steve mentioned this, that they have a contingency plan. I think if Rory McIlroy came, somebody like that, they're going to have a contingency plan to handle overflow parking, all the things that would come with the field size. I mean, the attendance increase that would come with getting a big star like that. And Tiger Woods, he just amps the tournament to another level. He brings in an element of fan that's just not there traditionally to golf. He transcends not only sports, but golf. He transcends sports. The casual fan is going to come out to the Zurich that would not have come if Tiger Woods was not playing. So we'll see what happens. I don't want to get people's expectations up too much because I still think it's a long shot, but I do think we have a better chance than ever of getting to see Tiger Woods play here in New Orleans, whether it's this year or in the future. In the past, we had no chance. He used to schedule. This is how little he thought of New Orleans. He would schedule his Tiger Jam. He had like this charity tournament event. He would schedule it on the weekend of the Zurich, and it was out in Las Vegas, I think it is, or in Reno or somewhere. But he obviously wasn't going to play here when his big charity Tiger Jam event was going on. That's now in May, so he's open, and that gives us a better possibility of getting him here.
And Steve also mentioned kind of the throughout there Phil Mickelson's name. Now, Phil has played in New Orleans before, but it's been a while since he's done that. So even if you got someone like Phil Mickelson, I think that brings in more casual fan than look. All apologies to say Jordan Spieth, and Spieth has not yet officially committed to the tournament. He played last year. He seemed to enjoy it. So I would assume Jordan would come back anyway. But someone like Phil Mickelson, not as big as Tiger Woods, but pretty close in the golf world. So he would bring a bigger attendance with him. And right now, Phil is only one shot off the lead at the Masters. He's 2 under. He's even on the day. So you got a bunch of huge names that are floating around the leaderboard that we're going to be seeing here. Stenson, he's up there. He's tied for the lead. Patrick Reed, Matt Kuchar, Cabrera Bello, who's going to be playing with Sergio Garcia. He's also tied. So a lot of these guys, and who else?
Could I just make a
Zach
point here?
Johnson is 2 under. But yes, you can
3 under.
Jeff, you're allowed to make a point.
3 under, Adam Hadwin.
Who's that?
University of Louisville, Cardinal.
Good night.
I can't roll my eyes any harder. Goodness.
Canadian superstar from University of Louisville, tied for the lead.
Is he as big as Alan Thicke in Canada?
Is he as big as Robin
bigger.
Thicke?
Adam Hadwin. Remember the name. We need to get him here, Steve. If you're listening, Steve Worthy
Yeah,
needs
you're
to get
still
Adam
listening as
Hadwin.
opposed to watching the Masters, which you clearly are probably not.
So
doing.
Jeff would want to play in the Pro-Am. It would be Jeff, Adam Hadwin, Sheldon Rankins, and maybe
That's a good pair.
Asia Durr.
Patino. Can
Asia
you pull
Durr.
Patino in?
No, we'll get Darren Erman, the Pelicans assistant
Go
defense
for it.
coordinator. He's a U of L grad.
What about you pull a Kentucky guy like Rajon Rondo?
we do not want.
I mean, we got more than enough guys here for that.
Yeah, we could do that.
No, we don't
I
want.
mean,
that.
I would imagine Rondo's a
Maybe Darius
avid golfer.
Miller. He's going to have some
Jody
time.
Bailey, the lead assistant at UNO, U of L grad. We'll get him out there. There's lots of us down here.
Yeah, there's lots of you guys down there.
I don't know. I mean, Larry, if you can get obviously, and that's the thing too, especially for and that's what we talk about specifically with golf. I think we talked about this the last time we had Steve on, was talking about the changes in golf, kind of how eras change in bigger sports. Obviously you're going away from the guys like, obviously Arnold Palmer, guys like that. Jack Nicklaus. Now you're kind of in a different era, but even from the era of like Sergio Garcia and Phil Mickelson and even Tiger, now you have to have that younger group come in. And whether it's Dustin Johnson or all these dudes who are friends like Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, those guys, Bubba Watson, those guys go on trips together after the Masters and stuff like that. Those are the kind of the new young guns that I think the PGA has been really trying to hype up, because they need to continue to pull in that younger audience, because if it skews older, you have a problem with being able to relate specifically to a newer next generation. You got to have some of these younger guys in, and that's why if you can get a guy like Ricky Fowler, if you can get
well, they typically get Ricky Fowler.
Yeah,
he's played here a lot. Spieth played last year, but no, I understand where you're coming from, and that's all true, and that process is going to be going on for a while, but. Even when, remember, Jack Nicklaus wins his last major, what was it, in '86 at the Masters? People were still there, and he's, in his mid-40s winning that?
Yeah.
People are still there to follow Jack Nicklaus. Tiger Woods is like the same thing. Phil Mickelson is in that boat. So if you get one or the other, or both, if you got both, it'd be the biggest coup probably in golf history in New Orleans. But if you got one of those, look, people are going to come anyway, and people are intrigued by Jordan Spieth, especially say if Spieth wins another Masters. That would be huge. Or if Bubba Watson wins another Masters. Bubba's already committed to play. That's huge too. But people will come out. Like Joe Blow will come out just to have a chance to be in the same space as Tiger Woods hitting a golf ball. I mean, that would be gigantic.
No, and the tournament already has great momentum from last year's format change. It's even if Tiger doesn't come this year, we're going to have a great field here in New Orleans. Steve was kind of teasing us there. It sounds like they've got a lot of more big names lined up that have unofficially committed.
I would say probably Spieth is one of them, because I just assume he's playing because he played last year and seemed to have a great time playing.
I agree, and so I think there'll be some more big names to be announced over the next week or two. And Tiger Woods, it sounds like they're working him, but I think a lot's going to come down to how Tiger plays this weekend. If he plays well, I think it increases our chances of getting him here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's take a break right here on the show. When we get back, are the Saints going to trade up for Baker Mayfield all the way to the top of the draft?
Love it.
One draft Nick thinks so.
We're going to take it to the top? What?
Oh, yes. A man after...
Well done.
Does Baker Mayfield have to go to Veal Platte and record an album?
Yes, that would put it in the contract now.
Let's do it. That's a must, or he's out. They're not doing it.
So all the top music studios in the country are
huge hits.
Bill Platt. It all comes from Bill Platt. It's like Muscle Shoals.
Like Nashville.
Yeah.
Right.
Austin.
Sure.
Stompers.
Exactly. Oh, boy. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Duncan Holden.
Somebody call the po-po. I'm going crazy. Thinking about you, baby. 5150, just a side of local. I'm going crazy. Think I love you, baby.
Josh and his show, Listener Bingo Board.
Some of the squares include Trump joins the show.
Trump does join the show a lot.
My dad, the term insufferable. Oh, a sentence that starts with when I was in Philly.
Boy. This guy really pays attention to the show.
Josh Innes, mornings 6 to 10 on Sports 1280.
This week on Big Easy Deals, get a family 4-pack to the Autumn and Aquarium of the Americas. At the aquarium, penguins, stingrays, sharks, and other deep-sea creatures await your visit. Get your family 4-pack for only $48 at FoxSportsAM1280.com. Keyword deals.
Message and data rates may apply.
Hi, I'm Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. After I left baseball, I just couldn't stay in shape like I used to. Turns out, once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone, and that can make it harder to get into shape. So I got back into the game with Nugenics. I'm feeling stronger with a lot more energy and drive. You want to get back into shape? Get Nugenics. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Frank's right. Just text TIP to 321321 to get a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And guys, she'll like the difference too.
Nugenic samples are not available in stores. To get your complimentary bottle, text TIP to 321321. That's TIP to 321321.
Home is where my kids can feel safe. It's where my family is secure.
For many American families, affordable housing is out of reach. This April, join Habitat for Humanity's Home is the Key campaign and help families build the stability and self-reliance needed for a better life.
Having the ones I love together in one place. That's what home means to me.
Look for the campaign at local retailers or visit Habitat.org to see a list of participating stores and pledge your support today.
He said we got 100 gallons of sweet red wine.
This is Duncan Holder on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
But obey the law. If you drink, don't drive. Do the watermelon crawl.
All right. Baker Mayfield. I'm just going to put this disclaimer out there. If Baker Mayfield is at 27, I think the Saints should take him without hesitation. That's been I've written that before. I'm saying it on the radio, so I'm putting that out there right now. At 27, if he falls there, the Saints should take him and not think twice about it. But moving all the way up to number 8 and trading your first-round pick this year and your third-round pick and your first-round pick next year, that is a theory that one Chad Reuter from NFL.com has just thrown out there on his mock draft. Look, we've seen a lot of mock drafts bantered about Lamar Jackson to the Saints at 27, even Mayfield falling to 27 and the Saints taking him. But no way am I ever going to buy that the Saints are going to move all those assets to move all the way up to go get Baker Mayfield and basically throw some of the stuff away for next year. I'm just not buying it. I can't get on board with that. I know some teams might want to move up and do that. You got to at least throw the speculation out there that say, since New England's gotten all these assets, maybe they might want to do that and move up and take a quarterback after the Brandon Cooks trade. And, oh, by the way, I never even was able to talk with you guys about angry Cooksey going to the Rams, man. I can't believe another team shipped him off. I'm stunned.
Now, let's get clear on that. They tried to sign him, so they did not ship him off. They tried to sign him.
No.
They wanted him back.
The little angry man wanted more money.
They wanted him back. Well, I mean, wouldn't you want more money? Why wouldn't you want more money? Everybody wants more money.
Well, yeah.
He can get more money. He should get it.
Yeah, but he had to be jettisoned off.
That's because that's what the Patriots do. But they wanted him back. There's a difference. If they didn't like him, if he was this malcontent as you make him out to be.
Oh, I don't say he's a malcontent. He's just a little angry man.
Why did they?
He's just a little angry.
One little incident. One incident. When did
it's more than that.
Okay, when? I don't know. I've never
Nothing
seen.
publicly like I've had to go out and write about. He's just a little angry little man. He's just angry.
I'll tell you
Look
this.
at all the tweets that Michael Thomas puts out that you might construe as, oh, you see what you deserve, da-da-da-da. Could it be, you could easily say, oh, maybe he's talking about Brandon Cooks. It wouldn't surprise me.
I didn't see that.
Well, he just throws out little tweets that could be construed one way or the other. You just, I'm
reading between the lines.
Yes.
I would say this: Baker Mayfield Kansas City traded their first last year, their third last year, and then this year's first to move up to number 10 from 27. That's a lot. And they got Patrick Mahomes, and everything I've read about Mahomes is he is lights out. I don't know if you read that story. There was a story the other day, I think, that generated out of the owners' meetings where people had a chance to talk to Andy Reid, some of the Kansas City reporters.
I did not catch up on that.
Andy Reid said that one start. Remember, Mahomes got like some random start down the stretch against the Broncos. They said he was quoted, I guess, at the breakfast as saying, "I felt like we could score every time we had the ball with Mahomes." And one internal personnel guy with the Chiefs was quoted anonymously as saying he's one of the best players we've ever seen, period. That's high praise. And this was a guy the Saints had graded very highly.
We found out thanks to Jordan Spieth and Ryan Palmer.
Yes.
After that Friday round at the PGA Zurich Classic when they spilled the beans that the Saints were on the verge of taking him. And if he would have been there, could have easily been the pick.
It reminds me a lot, Larry, of when the Saints had Deuce McAllister and Ricky Williams at the same time. Deuce kind of played a backup role his first year. He got in the game in Atlanta and made like a 60-yard run for a touchdown, just randomly in the middle of a regular drive, burst it, outran the secondary, and Jim Haslett told me later on they decided after that game they were going to trade Ricky Williams because this guy was better, and they traded Ricky Williams in that offseason. I think that's the same thing that happened here with Alex Smith. They saw Mahomes in action and said, let's get something for Alex Smith. We've got our quarterback of the future.
I don't even know if they needed to see anything in action with Mahomes. They
Might
probably
not.
would have done it anyway. But look, I just can't see the Saints mortgaging off all that. And the trade that's been proposed in that mock draft on NFL.com, might as well give it its plug. They've getting their due, so they're getting all the clicks. That's the similar type trade and the design trade that Chad Reuter was going with, the one that went with Mahomes. So basically, the one this year, third, and then the one next year for the Saints to move up to 8 with the Bears to go get Baker Mayfield.
Here's my problem, and I know you're all both probably going to scoff, but if you think Taysom Hill is your quarterback of the future, why are you trading everything away to get Baker Mayfield? It makes no sense to me. I don't think the Saints are going to draft a quarterback. I think they like Taysom Hill. I think they've got Tom Savage to be their backup, the veteran guy. If you trade to get Baker Mayfield, obviously he's going to make the team. That means you're getting rid of Taysom Hill. Probably you're going to go with Baker Mayfield as your backup. I don't know. I mean, to me, they made these moves because I think they feel good about their quarterback position. First of all, they got Drew Brees for at least 2 more years.
Right.
So I don't see it. I think this is just a clickbait draft.
I'm not scoffing at you at all because I completely agree. I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback.
I don't.
Because they probably feel like Tom Savage is still young enough if they want to see what they have with him. And we know they like Taysom Hill. And Drew Brees is going to be around for 2 years. And let's not act like, oh, my gosh, say 2 years from now, there's not going to be quarterbacks that are worthy of playing in the NFL.
Exactly. You give Taysom Hill a heavy dose of the off-season work. You get him heavy use in the preseason. You see what you got. And then if you don't think he can cut it, then next year you bring in the quarterback of the future. There's plenty of time. We were just talking about Patrick Mahomes. He had 1 year as an understudy, and now he's going to be the man. They could do that if they find the right guy, let him play behind Brees in 2020 even, and they would be ready if it went that far down the road. So they don't have to rush out and get a quarterback now. All these projections of Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield, I think, are misguided.
I agree. All right, let's take a break right here on this show. When we get back, let's head out to Phoenix. We'll talk with Sean Kelly, Pelicans radio play-by-play voice. Of course, you can listen to tonight's game against the Suns on our sister station, 99.5 FM WRNO.
Must win.
Absolutely. So, all right, we'll talk Pels. Coming up next, Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holder.
I'm crazy about you. Don't be stupid. You know I love you.
Your forecast on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
This report is brought to you by Holiday Inn West Bank.
Starting off Friday on a very nice note, but we are going to see increasing clouds and showers through the day. By late tonight, we'll be on the lookout for some strong storms. The Storm Prediction Center places much of the area under a slight risk for severe weather with a marginal risk down to the coast. Temperature-wise, starting off in the 60s this morning, we warm up to the middle 70s through the afternoon. For Fox 8, your weather authority and Bounce TV, I'm meteorologist Nikandra Norwood.
Enjoy a breathtaking view of the New Orleans skyline and the mighty Mississippi River from the top of the Holiday Inn West Bank Tower. With a view unlike any other, the Crescent Room is the perfect space for your next wedding, shower, or reunion. Meet their sales team and reserve your special day.
We're here in this new neighborhood to talk about the American dream. Looking good, boys. A dream that Navy Federal Credit Union wants to help you celebrate with a mortgage that you won't lose sleep over. Navy Federal offers 100% financing, no private mortgage insurance, and even no money down on a variety of conventional and VA loans. So start living your dream today. Subject to approval, 100% financing loans include an additional funding fee. Visit NavyFederal.org for more information. Open to the Armed Forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Spring Black Friday is back at Lowe's with great savings to help with those outdoor projects popping up on your to-do list. For your garden, get 1.5 cubic foot bags of Stay Green garden soil, 5 for $10. Plus, get delicious veggies and herbs with Bonnie vegetable and herb plants, 5 for $15. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through April 11th while supplies last. See store for details, U.S. only.
Hi, Eric Ashwood, celebrity chef Scott Craig of Katie's. Scott, you have to be excited about Katie's expanded second floor seating and private dining rooms.
Yeah, but how about my vast local sports knowledge?
You know sports, but shouldn't we be talking about your award-winning Sunday brunch?
I'd rather talk about the Saints and the Pels.
How about your award-winning pizza or daily specials?
How about them Saints?
I admit you have a great take on local sports, but what about Katie's award-winning menu?
Okay, folks, I invite you to dine at Katie's. Eric and I don't have to brag about the food at Katie's. The food speaks for itself.
Katie's open 7 days a week in the heart of Mid-City at 3701 Opperfield.
Geico presents Unhelpful Home Improvement How-Tos.
Nothing's worse than walking into your garage and realizing a thief has ridden off with your bike. So today, I'll teach you how to burglar-proof your home with a pudding-filled moat. All you need is a backhoe, a drawbridge, and thousands of gallons of butterscotch pudding. Now let's start digging.
You could try to protect your stuff with pudding, or you could get covered for personal property loss through the Geico Insurance Agency. Call Geico and see how affordable homeowners insurance can be.
Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise.
Learn what our insiders know about your home teams. Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Heading out to Phoenix. Pelicans, obviously a big game regardless of the opponent, taking on the Phoenix Suns tonight. And, of course, on our sister station, 99.5 FM WRNO, you can hear the play-by-play call of one Sean Kelly. Sean, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it. Look, Pelicans got off the snide, beat up on the Grizzlies. Even after the 4-game losing streak, you assumed that could happen against the Grizzlies, and the Pelicans did what they had to do and got an easy win there. Phoenix, you would assume, would be in the same light. Sean, just first off, your thoughts on going into this game specifically for the Pelicans.
Well, I don't think it's any different than what we saw against Memphis the other night. This is a team that you have to beat, you should beat. The good news is that the Pelicans since February 1st are 10-0 against sub-500 teams. So they've done something they weren't able to do earlier in the year, and that's win the games they're supposed to. And I think they're charged up enough, healthy enough to take care of business tonight. And then I think it sets up a situation where they have to win one of their last three to get into the playoffs.
Sean, as far as on the injury front, I know they just signed Jordan Crawford and Ian Clark went down, even if Ian misses, say, a week or 10 days, it seems like he's really kind of stepped up and been a really good piece off the bench. How much of a loss would that be, and how much can Jordan Crawford maybe add in the interim?
Well, first of all, with Ian, you're losing basically your backup or your emergency point guard, and that's significant enough. The good news is you've got Rondo and Holiday who can handle that load back and forth. And Crawford, I like the shooting that he brings. We'll see how quickly he can get up to speed, but he's been in the system before. He's familiar with his new teammates all over again. And if his shooting's going well, it's a plus. And even if it's not, I think that there are some other role players that can help to replace, the 7 points a game that you got from Ian Clark. But, if something were to happen to Rondo or Holiday, then I think you're in a situation where now it becomes more of an issue because of what Ian was able to do as a ball handler.
Sean, going into not just really this game, but for the rest of the season, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about specifically the nights that Nico Mirotic and E'Twaun Moore had against the Grizzlies, and how important it was not only for them to build their confidence against a woeful team like the Grizzlies that unfortunately they were not apt to the fight, but those guys getting confidence is going to be important for this team going down the stretch, right?
Yeah, I don't think you need the 55 combined points that they had against Memphis the other night, but I think that you absolutely have to have those two guys making shots, and they took advantage of less minutes for Davis and Holiday the other night, and so that was good to see. I love the fact that the minutes were down for your key players in that game heading into this stretch, especially with the back-to-back here to start the road trip. So do you need 30 from E'Twaun Moore? No. But do you need him to hit a couple of threes a game? Yes. And certainly Mirotic makes this team much better when he's playing like he did on Wednesday as opposed to what he did, in the weeks prior, especially at home. His numbers at home were just horrific. And to see him kind of get back on track, especially at home, was very encouraging.
Sean Kelly, Pelicans radio play-by-play voice, joining us right here on Dunc and Holder. Sean, you mentioned Mirotic, and he started against the Grizzlies in place of Okafor. Do we see that going forward, or is that a one-game thing?
Hey, it's interesting. I asked Alvin Gentry that yesterday on his radio show, and he said he still wanted to kind of keep it matchup-driven. He's kind of used Mirotic and Okafor as interchangeable parts depending on the type of team they're playing, and when I say type of team, I'm talking about specifically what type of center they have. So I would imagine that probably tonight's matchup would I guess lean toward a Mirotic starting five, but then say on Monday against the Clippers when you've got DeAndre Jordan out there, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to put Emeka Okafor out there to start against DeAndre Jordan and keep Davis away from him, and then have Mirotic come off the bench. Look, if Mirotic starts again tonight and he has a similar night, then maybe we change the conversation and we say, well, why mess with something that's going really well? But I think at the moment that's what Coach Gentry's thought process is.
Sean, when you look at the remaining schedule for the Pelicans and just kind of the standings in the Western Conference, what do you feel like is the realistic landing spot for the Pelicans when the regular season ends?
If I had the answer to that question, I would probably be on every radio show in America.
Sean, I was just seeing if you had the answer and you just were holding it for yourself.
No, I'm not. My hope is this. My hope is that the Clippers are eliminated before Monday, because obviously that changes the dynamic of the head-to-head with the Pelicans at the Staples Center, in that ball game. But aside from that, it's just too hard to tell right now. You've got several head-to-head matchups coming up between the teams that are still in this jumbled mess, and then you start talking tiebreakers and everything else. I mean, just even sitting here yesterday in the hotel, the Pelicans went from 8 to 7 because of games played last night. So it's too hard to say. My wish for this team, my hope for this team is that not only are they in, but they avoid the 8th seed. I'd rather them not go up against Houston in round one. And the only other team that would bother me is Utah, and I don't know how that would happen head-to-head. But I'd take a matchup against anybody else, and that includes the Warriors. And that would be a 2-7 matchup. So just get in at this point, and if you can, if it falls right, avoid the 8 spot if possible.
So you think the loss of Steph Curry would be, even though they have all those weapons, you lose Steph Curry, and that would improve the Pelicans' chances in a playoff series?
Absolutely. First of all, if you just take them full strength head-to-head, I thought the Pelicans and the Warriors had some good matchups this year. I think that their styles of play match up pretty well, and in the 7-game series, let's see. But the Curry thing is very, very significant, and I understand they are going to have Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala always seems to step up during the postseason. But the Curry thing is that big, at least as I view the Warriors, and I find this, and this is crazy to say about the Warriors, I find them vulnerable in the first round without Curry. And, can they survive it? Probably, but I think it's not a lock by any means, especially because of that one player. That's how much he makes a difference, and that's how much those other guys play off of him and his ability to get them out of jams.
Well, Sean, let's bring it to tonight because, interestingly enough, you're going to get to see two very kind of almost different teams, but you're going to see two very different teams going in different directions with, obviously, the Suns down at the bottom, very bottom of the Western Conference, and then going into the Warriors, which are going to pretty much be locked in the 2 seed. Let's talk about tonight and what this team presents, because, obviously, the Suns shown flashes with their young talent, specifically when you got a guy like Josh Jackson and, Tyler Ulis, guys like that who can just light it up and guard-oriented play. What are you expecting out of the matchup tonight, specifically against the Suns, and what are you most expecting to see the Suns do and how the Pelicans will try to counter that?
I'm not so sure John DeShazier gets more than a few words into the broadcast tonight. We're talking about two of the teams that play some of the highest-paced games in the NBA, so it's going to be really up and down. Josh Jackson's a pretty scary player. And I think he'll get his tonight. It's what you do with the rest of them. Troy Daniels is now questionable for tonight. I think that if the Pelicans do a good job of taking care of the basketball and then be wary of the rim, because all of a sudden since the All-Star break, the Suns are almost hitting 50% or getting 50% of their points on dunks and layups. So just don't get into a situation where you're allowing them to run out on a live ball turnover. And I think the Pelicans, like they did against Memphis, not saying it has to be wire to wire, but I think the earlier the Pelicans can kind of put their thumb down on this team, the better the result or the more comfortable all of us will feel in the second half.
All right, Sean, one more and we'll let you run. Physically and mentally, how is Anthony Davis at this point?
I think he's fine. The ankle was a question mark. I think he showed with his energy, and I think on the defensive end, especially the other night against Memphis, that it's not going to bother him moving forward. Mentally, he's as dialed in as I've ever seen him. And what's really scary about Anthony, and you don't really appreciate it sometimes when you see him almost on a daily basis, but guys, he's 7 points and 12 rebounds away from becoming just the 7th player in the history of the NBA to have 2,000 points, 800 rebounds, 100 blocks, and 100 steals. So as good as he's been in his career, he's never been better than what he is right now. And that's good news for New Orleans, and they need all of it here moving forward.
All right, Sean, just give us a lowdown. Where can we catch you and John DeShazier tonight?
Well, of course, in your family there on 99.5 WRNO FM. We'll be on the air at, I want to say, 6:30 Central, and tip-off just after 7. We're looking forward to it.
All right, Sean Kelly, radio play-by-play voice of the Pelicans. Sean, appreciate the time, bud.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
All right, that's Sean Kelly. And, look, I think we all know this, that Pelicans, every game is a must-win. We've been saying that for months now, but no doubt tonight you can't afford to lose to the bad Phoenix Suns. Are they a bad team now?
They're a very bad team.
Now you're admitting they're a bad team?
I remember they're a bad team, but they have some very, very dangerous pieces. But as a whole, they're very bad.
You're still not going all the way in.
No, I'm not going to do it. Sorry.
I mean, they're only the worst team in the NBA. They're still only the worst team in the NBA. You'd say the Cleveland Browns are a very, very bad team.
Yeah, that's different.
They're kind of the same thing.
That's different, though.
All right. And to wrap it up, my man Hootie on a final break here. Clyde's guy, Hootie, right? Hootie?
I don't hear Hootie. I hear Darius Rucker, though.
No, that's Hootie.
No, it's not.
Hootie for life here on a Country Fried Friday. One more segment. Come on back. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holder.
So this is not my bad comeback song.
With up to 16 chances a day, every weekday to win $1,000. A smart move would be to listen.
I'm a smart speaker, and I agree.
The keyword to text and win comes at the top of the hour.
The smart money is on.
Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by OpenJAR. Consult your doctor before discontinuing any medication.
Attention, anyone who has taken Nexium, Prilosec, Prevacid, or any other proton pump inhibitor to treat heartburn, indigestion, or acid reflux. You may be entitled to significant cash compensation. The Journal of American Medical Association recently reported that proton pump inhibitors, including Nexium and Prilosec, may increase the chances of individuals developing chronic kidney disease by 50%. If you or a loved one took Nexium, Prilosec, or any other proton pump inhibitor and have experienced kidney problems such as chronic kidney disease, renal or kidney failure, dialysis treatment, or even a related death, call 800-289-0789 now. You may be entitled to significant compensation, but hurry, time is limited. If you or a loved one took Nexium, Prilosec, or any other proton pump inhibitor, call 800-298-0789. Operators standing by 24/7. Call 800-298-0789. That's 800-298-0789. 800-298-0789.
Howdy, folks. It's me, Colonel Sanders. My KFC $20 fill-up includes a whole bucket of delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, 2 sides of mashed potatoes and gravy, coleslaw, and 4 flaky biscuits for just $20. It'll feed 4 people. And it comes with a free bucket. And every time you use that bucket, you'll be reminded of how delicious that meal was. Now that's value. KFC, it's finger-licking good. At participating KFCs for a limited time. Prices may vary. Tax extra. Extra charge for breast piece and side item substitution may apply. Offer includes 8-piece chicken, 3 large sides, 4 biscuits.
The City of Covington presents Rockin' the Rails. Every Thursday in April, this free concert takes place at the Covington Trailhead from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at 419 North New Hampshire. Rockin' the Rails kicks off April 5th with the John Papa Gross Band. For more information about this free concert series and to find out the rest of the lineup, go to www.covla.com. That's covla.com. Rockin' the Rails every Thursday in April from 5 p.m. to 7:30 at the Covington Trailhead.
It's a new way to party with friends under the umbrellas or on the new sky deck watching great golf. Enjoy fresh oysters, fried seafood, and cocktails. The Acme Oyster House, right on the course at the Zurich Classic, April 26th through 29th. For tickets, call today or visit ZurichGolfClassic.com.
And I'm letting go of all my lonely yesterdays.
Dunc and Holder now. Eric Asher next at noon on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Great show today. Missed any of it? Sports1280.com is where you can find podcasts. Also, NOLA.com's YouTube page where we have it all up there. And Clyde will have an update on NOLA.com later on this afternoon. Let's round out today's show with some college baseball. Kind of, at least on our show, kind of falling a little bit by the wayside as far as Pelicans basketball. We've been talking Saints draft, free agency, this, that, and the other. But look, big series. LSU got up on the right foot up in College Station. Zach Hess, 8 shutout innings last night as LSU beats number 19 Texas A&M 4-1. LSU now 20-11, 6-4 in the SEC. A&M now 21-9, 3-7 in conference play. And Clyde, they're hovering around the same record that they had last year, and like I haven't been following it as in depth. Usually, I don't follow it until you get past the,
to like late April, early May when it's conference tournament time.
Essentially, yes.
Postseason.
Well, for my job, yes, because I'm neck deep in the Saints and the draft and this, that, the other. But is it wrong for me to think that I'm not going to compare them and say, oh, they're going to go to the National Championship Series? But I feel like they're starting to trend upward and maybe go around the same point as they were, say, a year ago when they started to start trending upward.
Yeah, I would say that specifically, and especially after last night, because the one thing we talked about in the last couple of weeks and the last couple of games is that it's not about how many hits you get, it's about about you using key and timely hitting to bring in runs. And what we're starting to see now is we're starting to see a much we're starting to see more quality at bats. We're starting to see really, really an uptick in how you're putting the ball in play and putting the ball in play when it matters. When you have guys on first base, second base, and scoring positions, specifically on second and third, and that is when you start getting the confidence back. When you start getting that confidence back, that's when you start seeing an uptick. Obviously, pitching follows that. Your offense follows that. You start getting a lot more of a rhythm now.
And look, I think we've been waiting to see this Zach Hess.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been you expect it. You know he could do it in the bullpen, but you go 8 innings, 8 shutout innings, and what did he throw? 114 pitches?
Yeah.
Longest outing of his college career, and you go 8 innings deep. That is better than you would anticipate.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say Hess is going to replicate that every time he goes out there. I doubt it. But if he can get 6 deep, 7 deep, that's huge.
That's more than
for a Friday night. Well, Thursday night, opening
game
series
one
night.
starter.
Yes.
Absolutely. That is game one starter type numbers right there. That is a person who is going to go out in game one, dominate an opponent, not making any mistakes and not locating his pitches, not being able to strike guys out, get guys to put balls in play in the infield. That's what you want. And I mean, that was the closest thing I think we've gotten to wild thing Zach Hess from last year, as you'll see through most of this year. And I think the thing for him is what happens, and I've seen this happen, and I've been around it enough to know that when, as a pitcher, you're always going to go with the mentality is your job is to go in, stop the other team from being able to get runners on base. Don't give up any free passes, i.e. you don't walk anybody, don't hit anybody, and you're good. And let your defense play behind you. Once you do that, you got all the confidence in the world. But when you see your team put up a 4 spot, that's when you know, as a pitcher, if you are on that night, all you have to do is go out and do your job to the best of your ability. And when you're not worried about having to, you're in a 1-1 kind of 1-1 stalemate, it's 0-0, you're down 2-1, and you're just worried about trying to get to the next out, try to get to the next inning, and hope that your guys can scratch across some runs. When you have to worry about that, all the pressure is off you at that point for you to be able to go out there and throw your best stuff. And clearly we saw that last night. And then tonight, either tonight or tomorrow specifically, depending on what happens, these second games for LSU, especially in the series, they've been a little iffy, a little shaky. They start off well. They were able to open the series with a win last week, but then get to game 2, and then it's kind of a free-for-all, and then you get to game 3, and Mikhail Hilliard steps on the mound, and he shuts everybody down, so you're able to pull out the series. But it's like Ron Higgins talked about earlier this week. They are in the race for the SEC West. All they need to do is keep pace with Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to be the team to beat, and once they get to that series, I think all bets are off, and whatever team is playing the best at that time is going to be able to pull that one out.
Do you think Hilliard moves up to the game 2 starter at some point, or do they feel comfortable with him being freshman? Let's leave him in game 3. He's kind of gotten himself comfortable so far because he's been outstanding at that as that game 3 starter.
Yeah, I hesitate to want to say that Paul Maneri will probably move him to game 2 because I think the thing that you have with him being pitched in game 3 is that, one, if you lose game 2, you know you have a surefire ace going in game 3 to be able to keep you from losing a series. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the game that he lost, the 7-inning game that he lost because they had to play a doubleheader, that was a farce. They only scored 1 run. So, I mean, he pitched about as well as he could. LSU just couldn't scratch any runs across in 7 innings. So, I think you don't move him for specifically because if you lose that game 2, then you have a game 3 starter who's game and ready to go and knows he wants to win you a series. Or if you end up pulling out game 2, you have a better chance of getting a sweep.
Let's switch gears to Tulane. They are taking on Wichita State, and Wichita State is back to being a significant college power. They are 20-6 on the year. They're number 22 in the country. They're only 1-2 in the AAC. But Tulane goes into this game, into this series, and actually that game starts here in about 10 minutes. It's a noon first pitch because, as my buddy Todd Graffinini has been texting me, that the weather is miserable in April now in Kansas.
Kansas time of year is not a fun place to be. I'm sorry. It's super windy. It's cold. It's not one of the better places you want to end up to be playing college baseball in in this time of year, specifically in conference.
No, not at all. But look, they're up there, and we talked about them the start of the season and knowing that their front end of their non-conference schedule is going to be brutal. Look, they're 3-3 in conference, and yet they're 12-18 on the season. And
midweeks, man.
Yes, and I don't. Well, some of those other out-of-conference series, look, they weren't winning those series, and I don't want to be too reactionary, but they're going to have to start turning it around at some point. And look, it's Tulane baseball is their marquee program. And you look at it right now, I can't tell you the last time that Tulane has had back-to-back losing seasons.
It's probably been a while.
It might be like 50 years. We're talking a while.
Fortunately, I'm not going to look that up in the media guide right now because obviously we're at the end of the show and we're about to call it a week. But here's the thing that I think, if you're a Tulane fan, I know we've had some Tulane fans call in the past. If you're a Tulane fan right now, you've got to right now understand where this program is in terms of not only as they transition under Coach Travis Jewett and continue to forge their way into the American. Wichita State is back to being Wichita State. Houston is still Houston. These are teams that have been good the last few years. I mean, we're talking about Houston, a team that a few years ago was able to come in to Baton Rouge and take a regional. You know, you're talking about a Wichita State team that has been a handful for many years. Tulane is now on the building blocks. Like, they've got to get that foundation under Travis Jewett to be able to go and compete for not only a spot in the American, but also a spot in the state. And we've talked about this a lot, and that's where I think we get not necessarily too far out of the box when it comes to wins and losses, but it's been a struggle for them last year. It's been a struggle this year. They're running up against really quality opponents in state. That's the crazy thing. I mean, you're dropping midweek games to Southeastern.
Well, I can tell you, those uptown are not happy that they keep losing to UNO.
Yeah, and then you lose, and then you just lost the Pelican Cup to UNO after that was restarted. It's not fun. It's not what you're used to as a fan. But at the same time, you've got to give them at least the rest of this year, and then really go into next year, I think, with higher expectations. I'm not saying that this year is washed by any means. They still have an opportunity to be able to take some series. I mean, obviously it's going to be tough sledding here over the course of the next few weeks, man, because they've got LSU at home. So they're at Wichita State for the 3-game series. Then they've got LSU at home.
And why is it I feel like they can beat LSU in the midweek and then they can't beat anybody else in the midweek?
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing, though. I mean, that's the wackiness of midweek games, man. Midweek games are some of the games for me that I feel like I've seen that they count, obviously, just as another game, but they're so different than a weekend series. Like, you know what to expect for a weekend series. You gear up for those weekend series, and you got to play a game on a Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday night, and then turn around and play another one. Sometimes you play 2 midweeks in a week if you can schedule it, but it's just the way that I think the sword falls sometimes. So yeah, so you got Wichita State, you've got UNO this week, then you've got Houston at home. So that's going to be at least a good series, but then you got LSU after that, and then I think you get a little bit of a reprieve because you've got East Tennessee State for a 3-game series. You're going to play Texas Southern, and then you're on the road at UConn. I think that's when you start to build some of that back up right there. But right now, the next 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks are going to be brutal.
Yeah, I think it's got some Tulane folks restless, and I would understand that because it's one thing to struggle and you kind of get hosed and you win 35, 36 games and you don't get into an NCAA tournament, but when you have losing records, you got no hope, and I think that's something that's going to be interesting in the next couple of weeks. All right, great show. Absolutely great show. Want to thank Clyde for his stellar job interviewing WWE superstar champion Alexa Bliss. Clyde's still
I'm still geeking out. It was so cool.
Still geeking out. Want to thank Gene Gilliott. Want to thank Steve Worthy. And want to thank Sean Kelly. So we will be back here on a Monday. Of course, coming up next, Eric Asher from noon to 2, Chris Gordy 2 to 4, Corey Johnson 4 to 6. So for Clyde, for Dave, for Larry, have a great weekend. Try not to get wet tomorrow. And we'll be back here on Monday. So come on back. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holden.
I wouldn't trade those days for nothing. Oh, it was 1970-something. It was the dawning of a new decade.
We're here in this new neighborhood to talk about the American dream. Looking good.